Hey, it's Dr. PJ, and I want to come on and actually do a follow up video to the one that I did on yesterday morning. Just the irony and everything, and how that pretty much shaped out to be. The universe has a way of working. The universe definitely has a way of working. And I wanted to just follow up and just make really like an outcry or an appeal to parents. Situation, let's just go for it. And it's not necessarily my institution, so definitely don't think it reflects on any institution that I work at or have worked at. But just overheard someone else in the field had a situation where the student showed up, mother puts the student on the bus or the plane, shows up to campus when other freshmen are supposed to have moved in, hadn't been admitted, doesn't have housing, doesn't have a meal plan, and is hungry. So what happens is that admissions office got the student admitted, but guess what? The student still has the same issues. You haven't secured your financial aid. You haven't made any additional payments that you may have to make to bring your balance whole. You don't have anywhere to live, most importantly, and you don't have food. And so the person said they actually asked the child, hey, what are you gonna do for housing right now? And what would you do for food? And the young man said, for the most part, well, I'm gonna figure it out. My mother paid for 2 nights in a hotel. And it just really goes back to what I was saying yesterday. Parents have to be involved. But given this situation, of course, this video is not to bash any parents or anything like that. What do you do? Just as an administrator, what do you do in this particular situation? So before I came to you all, I actually made an outcry and appeal to 2 of my colleagues, one that has been a director of housing for several years at different university types, and actually one that has been in higher administration on campus at a VP level. And the director of housing pretty much said that she would go ahead and try to secure that particular student housing, emergency housing, maybe in an alternative, I won't say dorm, they're residential living areas. But when I went to school, they were dorms. But anyway, she would go ahead and secure housing for that particular student. She actually said that she similarly had the same situation yesterday. And what she did, she moved that student to the COVID area until she could actually give them main housing or whatnot, or an assigned housing space. And she would actually get them a meal plan. And the VP, he pretty much said he would just go ahead and get them housing because he would not turn any student away. So I'm just thinking about that particular institution. What happens? You find out possibly their housing is full. And speaking with my friend that's actually a housing director, what she said was she doesn't believe in waitlisting, because for the most part, those particular students have the anticipation that you will eventually find me a home. You will find me somewhere to go because you said almost like a false pretense that I'm waitlisted. So eventually it's coming as long as I keep waiting. So in the VP, he sits at a seat where he can actually make that decision, whether that's, possibly rehoming or re-rooming an upperclassman that's possibly moving in at a later date to get this particular freshman student, an incoming freshman student, housing or whatnot. But it's just the perils of it all. It's heartbreaking. I'm just grateful for the seat in which that I sit in, because I just can't imagine any of those student affairs types issues relative to housing and in the institution saying that the housing is full, and admissions not necessarily relaying that particular message before the student then comes in. So at that particular institution, I'm thinking that more than likely it's possibly a breakdown in communication somewhere. There's a disconnect, there's a break, and not to necessarily go into the conversation of family dynamics, because something would make you ask, why would a mother put her son on a bus or a plane? Again, I don't know. They just said he showed up. But why would a mother put her son on a bus or a plane, assuming that he has housing, that he's been admitted, that everything is taken care of? It's not like it's 50 years ago where you just figure it out. They'll take you, they'll give you a home. With automation, parents, like I made in my appeal yesterday, you have to be involved. But it just puts, I'm thinking about that institution with that student, it just really puts them in a bad situation, their backs are against the wall. Do you buy him a plane or bus ticket and send him back home to his mother, even though she was the one who initiated this and sent him to that institution, saying, just as he said, I'll figure it out? What do you do? So I would just be curious to get additional input. Feel free to drop down in the comments, email me. I would really like to provide that institution with some feedback on what you all have actually provided. And based upon, my 2 connects in higher ed, I definitely want to give them feedback. It's a hard world out there. But of course, given education and things of that nature, of course, we want to reform a person and make him, her, or them, viable in society right now. So just drop down in the comments. Let me know what's going on. Have a great day. Got to get started. Alrighty, bye.